Keeping up with artificial intelligence these days, it can feel like, well, like you're just constantly trying to grab onto something moving way too fast.
Oh, absolutely. It's nonstop. New things popping up every single day.
Yeah,
It's exciting, no doubt, but yeah, overwhelming is a good word for it.
totally. And it makes you wonder, like, what actually matters in all this noise?
Exactly. Which is why it's helpful to just pause sometimes and really look at the big shifts, what's really driving things.
And that is precisely what we're going to do right now. Consider this your, let's say, your filter for the important stuff in AI today. We're using the Byte of AI daily update from today, May 28th, 2025.
Yep. And we're going to really dig into three, maybe four key areas. We've got Nvidia's new chip for China. That's a big one. And there's C3.ai's earnings report that just dropped.
Right. Plus the whole intense competition for AI talent. And we should probably touch on AI regulation too. Seems like that's everywhere at the moment.
Definitely seeing a lot of chatter about that. So yeah, by the time we're done, you should have a much clearer picture of these developments and, importantly, why they actually matter to you.
Okay, perfect. Let's start with Nvidia. This new AI chip specifically for the Chinese market feels pretty significant given the circumstances.
Oh, it absolutely is. And you have to see it against the backdrop of, well, all the tech tension, right? The U.S. restrictions on exporting those really high-end chips like NVIDIA's H20.
Yeah, trying to limit access to the most powerful stuff.
Exactly. So NVIDIA's move here, according to the Byte of AI, is rolling out this new chip. It's described as more budget-friendly, apparently heading for mass production pretty soon, like next month.
And the update had that analogy, right? That comparing the H20 to a luxury sedan.
Yeah, and this new one to a compact car. Still gets the job done, still powerful in its own way, but, different specs. Crucially, it's designed to meet the current export rules.
Which is pretty clever business-wise. They clearly want to stay dominant in China. That market's just enormous for AI.
It's huge. And this shows how adaptable they're being. Despite the trade barriers, they find a way to compete. It's a real strategic play to keep their foothold. Makes you wonder about the long-term chip game, doesn't it?
For sure. And it's not like this chip is going to be weak, is it? The expectation is it'll still be capable enough for a lot of things in China. Data centers, AI startups.
Right. It probably won't have the absolute peak performance of the restricted chips, but NVIDIA likely tailored it, maybe optimized it for things particularly relevant in that market while staying compliant.
But the update also brought up a concern, didn't it? Could this actually end up maybe unintentionally helping China's AI development?
That's the tricky part. It highlights that constant tension,
Mhm.
between a company needing to do business and these broader national security geopolitical concerns. Where do you draw the line?
Yeah, and the Byte of AI mentioned potential ethical angles too. How do those fit in?
Well, it kind of loops back. If you provide the tech, even a slightly different version, you're enabling whatever applications it gets used for. So if those applications raise ethical flags down the line,
The chip itself becomes part of that conversation.
well, exactly.
So, thinking about the listener, what's the potential takeaway here? Could this mean maybe more affordable AI tools eventually if China keeps innovating with these kinds of chips?
It's possible. Continued AI development there, even with adapted hardware, could spur competition and potentially drive down costs globally. Maybe smaller businesses could get access to tools that were previously too expensive.
Right.
It's plausible.
It really shows how global politics directly shapes the tech itself.
No question. Who gets what tech is a massive factor in future innovation.
Okay, so that's the hardware side being shaped by politics. Let's switch to the software side and economics. C3.ai's earnings report, also in today's Byte of AI. This company had a huge stock surge back in 2023, right? During that initial AI frenzy.
Oh yeah, a massive run-up, something like 157% in 2023. Pure excitement about AI potential across industries. But, like often happens, things cooled off a bit after that initial euphoria.
Right. But now there's talk of a potential comeback. Analysts are watching.
There are signs.
Yeah.
And predictions that they might be turning a corner. So for people maybe not super familiar, what C3.ai does is
Yeah.
provide this platform, right, software, to help businesses actually use AI.
The update gave some examples, like predicting when factory equipment might fail.
Exactly that kind of thing. Or like helping energy companies forecast weather better to manage resources. It's about applying AI predictive analytics, machine learning, to solve real-world business problems, making it practical.
And the expectation for this latest earnings report, the Q4 one, they're hoping to show smaller losses.
Yeah, the forecast is for narrowed losses. And there's some hope they might even beat those forecasts, perhaps if they've signed up a lot of new customers. Or maybe their existing clients are spending more.
Interesting. And the update mentioned their valuation is lower now, making it potentially more attractive for investors who believe in that business AI space.
Correct. Compared to its peak, it's more grounded, let's say. So for investors looking for exposure to enterprise AI adoption, it might look like a decent entry point, assuming you buy into their long-term story.
And what's the bigger picture significance for, for everyone listening? If C3.ai does well, what does that signal?
Well, a strong report could suggest that AI isn't just hype anymore, that it's really being adopted effectively in those core industries, manufacturing, energy, that sort of thing, real-world traction.
Okay, so it could boost confidence in the whole AI market.
It could do, yeah. And it also gives us a clue about how smaller, more specialized AI companies are faring against the tech giants. Can they carve out a niche and compete effectively? This report might offer some hints.
Got it. Okay, let's shift again. This feels like a different kind of battleground, the fight for AI talent in Silicon Valley. Sounds intense.
Intense is probably an understatement right now. The demand for the absolute top AI researchers, the real innovators, it's off the charts. Byte of AI, name the big players, OpenAI, Google, XAI.
And they're basically in a bidding war.
Pretty much. An aggressive
Same.
recruitment drive. We're talking huge money. The report mentioned million-dollar deals just to get these people on board.
Wow. And they named Noam Brown at OpenAI, right? His work on math and science AI.
Yeah, exactly. That shows the level we're talking about. These aren't just smart engineers. They're the people pushing the absolute boundaries of what AI can do.
The update used that analogy, drafting star athletes for a tech Super Bowl.
It really captures it, doesn't it? The stakes feel that high. They're trying to build these, like, super teams to win the AI race.
And it's driving salaries through the roof. 7 figures, plus bonuses tied to breakthroughs.
Yep, salaries are hitting levels most people can't even imagine. And yeah, big bonuses if they hit specific AI milestones. It's serious money.
Which sounds great for the talent, but what are the downsides? The update touched on this.
Well, the main one is cost. It massively inflates the cost of doing cutting-edge AI research. Smaller companies, startups, they just can't compete at that level for talent.
So it could concentrate power and maybe even stifle some innovation outside the big labs.
That's a real concern. Does locking up all the top minds in a few places slow down progress overall or lead to less diverse approaches? It's a valid question.
So what's the end game here? Why this desperate scramble? What kind of AI are they trying to build with all this expensive talent?
Ultimately, it's about getting to more advanced AI reasoning, moving beyond pattern recognition to AI that can, truly understand context, solve really complex multi-step problems, maybe even plan ahead, much closer to human-like general intelligence.
And for the listener, why does this talent war matter?
Because the people being hired today are the ones who will build the AI that shapes tomorrow. The breakthroughs they make could fundamentally change things in healthcare, robotics, science, you name it.
So who wins this talent war could determine who controls the future of AI.
To a large extent, yes. It's about securing the capability to build the next generation of these incredibly powerful systems.
Okay, wow. All right, lastly, let's quickly cover this trend, hashtag AI regulation. Seems to be blowing up on X today.
Yeah, definitely seeing a ton of buzz. The Byte of AI links it to these growing worries about AI being misused, especially tools like Google's VO3, the ones that make incredibly realistic fake videos.
Right, the deep fakes. And there was that quote included from someone on.
Yeah, something like AI is making fake videos too. Real governments need to step in before it's chaos. That captures the feeling pretty well, I think. Sense of urgency.
So the general vibe is cautious? People want rules.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
There are calls for laws, specifically on deepfakes, but also for more transparency, like how do these AI systems even work? How do they make decisions? People want to know.
Which brings us to that classic balancing act, doesn't it? How do you put in safeguards against harm, misinformation, manipulation without killing innovation?
That's the billion-dollar question right now. You don't want to stifle progress, but you also can't ignore the potential downsides if things go unregulated. It's a really fine line to walk.
And this matters to you listening because AI is just getting more integrated into everything. The rules they decide on now will affect how you use tech, what information you trust.
How you can even tell what's real online sometimes. It's going to impact daily life significantly.
Okay. So wrapping things up, we've covered a lot today thanks to the Byte of AI daily update. We looked at Nvidia's China chip strategy, what C3.ai's earnings might tell us, that crazy talent war.
And the growing calls for AI regulation. It really paints a picture of a field just brimming with potential, but also facing some really significant hurdles and ethical questions.
Yeah, it shows both sides, the incredible power and the complexities we need to navigate.
Definitely. It's a space that just demands constant attention and, frankly, some deep thinking from all of us.
Which leads nicely to a final thought for you to chew on. As AI keeps accelerating, what do you think are the absolute most important things we as a society need to focus on? How do we get that balance right, pushing innovation forward while managing the risks? Something to keep pondering, for sure.